as much as I've kind of given some accolades here today, I think Mike Tomlin's, I think, is a good motivator. I think he's one of the dumbest football coaches in the NFL. There is no reason to give all that information on Roethlisberger's injury. If I'm a Patriot, whatever it is, I think he said the rib contusions on the left side. If I'm a Patriot, anytime I get close to Big Ben, I'm putting my helmet right into that rib cage.
Totally.
Every time. Why would you give that information? I think the Patriots go too far being tight-lipped to the point of like paranoia. But like, I mean, they just asked him, what do you think for this week? And he's like, well, Ben's dealing with contusions on his left side. He's like pointing them out. It's like, dude, like, why are you giving that away? So, I don't know. If the Patriots knock Roethlisberger out, then I'll switch my pick mid-game. Maybe I'll drop an in-game bet on it. But otherwise, I think the Steelers by a field goal.
Just to make it easier, they're going to put a giant target on right exactly where the injury is. Just like, hey guys, right here.
Yeah, he can point it out before every play too, just so the guys don't confuse if it's their left or his left.
Maybe get some Christmas lights, just like glowing red or something like that. The Donut Bag is brought to you by Foco.com. The holiday season is here, and Foco has all kinds of unique Pittsburgh Pirates, Steelers, and Penguins items. They're the perfect gift for all sports fans. Order today at Foco.com for guaranteed shipping before Christmas. Be the MVP of gift giving this holiday season. And for a limited time, if you buy one bobblehead, you get the second one 25% off. That's www.foco.com, Foco.com. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Donut Bag, part of the Pulse Podcast Network and the Pod Hub Network. In this episode, I preview the weekend's Steelers-Patriots game with Ryan Whitfield from Pro Football Focus and FantasyPros.com. This week, we're giving away a Heinz Field Stadium block set from Foco.com to one of our subscribers of the podcast, so please make sure you follow or subscribe. The Donut Bag starts right now. Steelers face the Patriots this weekend. With me to talk about it is Ryan Whitfield. He is at Ryan Whitfield NE on Twitter. He's an analyst for Pro Football Focus and also Fantasy Pros, and has a podcast, Football Garbage Time. Ryan, how you doing?
Great, Joe. How are we doing tonight?
Doing all right. So Steelers, Patriots again. I like how they just. I think even Belichick said it's almost like a division game. They play each other every single year. I think just because of the way they finish in the standings or whatever. What do Patriots fans think about the Steelers? Because you can't call it a rivalry if one team keeps beating the other one every single time.
Yeah, so I would agree with that. You know, I have a friend who is a diehard Steelers fan, and we've been friends for a long time. And throughout high school, I used to joke with him that if the Patriots and the Steelers met in the playoffs, it was always a good sign that we were going to go on to win a Super Bowl. And then obviously that one to hold on, or to hold true in 2016. But what I would say is that, you know, as I've grown older myself, I've lost a lot of the fanboy attitude I had in my younger years, where I used to, you know, really hate the Steelers, and not hate them because, again, like you said, it's hard to really, you know, it's not the same as the way I hate the Ravens, because the Ravens would come up to Foxborough and smack the Patriots in the mouth. But for whatever reason, I was never a Troy Polamalu fan, so that always rubbed me the wrong way. And then, you know, what Plaxico did in New York in 2007, you know, makes me hate the Steelers from earlier days. But overall, you know, one of the things I think is kind of cool, as I get older, you know, I kind of identify with older players more, and through a lot of the mic'd up stuff, you know, the I wouldn't call it a friendship, but the relationship that Big Ben and Brady have with each other and kind of mutual admiration is actually, I think, a pretty cool thing to see. So I kind of look forward to the game every year just because of that. We always get a pretty cool clip of those two pregame talking to each other on the field. And again, I think there's a lot of mutual admiration and respect because, you know, for the long haul of it, like you said, the reason why they play so much is because everyone knows how dominant the Patriots have been the last 19 years. And while the Steelers haven't been as dominant um, in those 19 years, obviously they have more championships total. But over the last 19 years, as long as Big Ben has been there, both teams have been relevant in the AFC in that Final Four, Final Six conversation every year, which is the reason why we get these marquee matchups every year. And with Brady Manning all over, you know, Brady Roethlisberger is really the last one of my younger teenage years that still holds up as an adult here. And once this matchup's gone, I think I'll be pretty sad about it.
Yeah, the NFL is designed to have everybody even out, and they give advantages to the teams that aren't as good, giving better draft picks and things like that. But the Steelers and Patriots, they're good every year. They defy the odds a little bit in that, and that's really neat to see. And I think I think everybody hates the Patriots and hates Tom Brady outside of like New England.
Yeah,
but it's just because they're so good. It's a respect thing. It's do you want the villain? Do you want the same team to be good all the time? It's like when the Cowboys are good or when Notre Dame is good. It's like everybody loves to hate them, and the Patriots being good every year, it's just a fun thing. It's like it's like a video game. It's like you got to defeat that big boss at the end, and that big boss is always the same one in the Patriots. So yeah, it's do you feel the hate up in New England?
Oh God, do I? Yeah, I mean it's pretty common. I would say that I think that hate exists for any team that's good. For me, I get in this, just to bring it home for you there in Pittsburgh and for your listeners. I constantly get in fights, or again, more so in my younger years, but with I hate the Penguins, and for no other reason than that the Penguins have been good for forever. And when people talk, if a Penguin fan chirps me at all about Brad Marchand on Twitter, I instantly go to Ulf Samuelsson, even though I wasn't old enough to watch Ulf Samuelsson play. All I've ever seen is the clips on YouTube, but I immediately go there. And obviously Matt Cook's an easy target in the later years, but you don't like teams that are good. I would say that the Patriots, it's one step further. I think that both in different ways, Brady comes across as more smug, whereas Belichick is just more of a kind of an a-hole. And I don't know. I think that, yeah, the winning pisses people off, but I think that the two of them, and warrantly so, rub people the wrong way because they kind of have a holier than thou attitude and just the kind of way they address everything. And so I think that definitely does play a role into it. But the winning, obviously, because yeah, you never want to see a team win for too much. I have, aside from the fact that I am actually, and again, I'm going to make myself look even worse here. I'm a Notre Dame fan too, just because I'm an Irish guy from Boston, who lives in Boston. But I aside from the 2012, butt whooping we got from Alabama, I have no real reason to hate Alabama other than I'm just sick of watching them in the SEC be the best conference and the best teams every year. So I think that that's a pretty common thing. And, I would say as I constantly do on Twitter to Patriot fans, stop crying about it. Would you rather people really like your team and not have championships to celebrate? Like, it's a pretty small price to pay in the end.
Yeah, I mean, Boston went from like the losers of sports to like in the last 15 years or so winning everything. Like, my goodness, between the Red Sox and the Patriots, and
yeah,
man,
I'm 30, and so just to put a timestamp on it, that means I was 8 years old when the Patriots played the Green Bay Packers in '96 in the Super Bowl. And I grew up in a small town in New Hampshire, and I was at one of my best friends' Super Bowl parties, and there was 8 of us from my Pop Warner team. And me and my best friend, out of 8 kids from Keene, New Hampshire, were the only 2 kids rooting for the Patriots because 6 people liked Brett Favre and the Packers more, children in New Hampshire, because the Patriots were so abysmal that you didn't grow up having to root for the Patriots. I did because my family, I was raised that way, that you root for your home teams. But like there were a lot of kids back then that when before they actually got relevant, that did not like the Patriots. And so it's just so different now, here 20 years later than it was back then, because the Patriots suck. The Celtics hadn't won anything since '86. The Bruins hadn't won since like '79, and the Red Sox hadn't won since 1918. And the Patriots had never won. So it is night and day from what it was in the '90s.
Yeah, but now on to recent history. Like last week, Steelers lost to the Raiders in Oakland. We're still scratching our heads over that one, but Patriots had a pretty lousy game too against Miami. How are people reacting to that? What they're calling the Miami Miracle?
So I think on the outside looking in, people are rooting for the Patriot demise, and they see that play, and they want to stick it to Patriot fans. I had a couple people instantly who aren't Patriot fans, now that I've kind of gotten into the sport world a little bit more, that reached out to me immediately after. And my response was what it has been all year. This Patriot team isn't that good. I don't believe in miracles or accidents. I think that play showed a lack of discipline that has really been a part of this team the entire season. They're not a good road team. They've been uncharacteristically sloppy in certain cases, and the miracle play is all fine and well, but Gostowski missed an extra point early in the game. Then Brady thought they had an extra timeout and took a sack with 10 seconds left in the first half in the red zone. And then Gostowski shanked a field goal in the second half. So they left 7 points on the board and lost by a point. So to me, that play shouldn't even happen. That play shouldn't have been there. And it's just, I've likened this team to the '09 Patriots, which, granted, we've had, 14 winning seasons in a row or whatever it's been around here since like '02 or no, since '01. I think they've had winning seasons the whole time. Yeah. So it's been like 18 straight years of winning seasons, 10 straight years of making the postseason. The '09 Patriots is like in Harry Potter saying Lord Voldemort's name. Patriot fans shudder at that season. It was the year from the Belichick documentary where Belichick famously said, I just can't get these guys to play the way that I want. And that's what this team feels like. Basically in the NFL, I have a belief that you really do have a 5-year window of talent before, your good draft classes get paid and you lose a lot of guys and you have to kind of turn it over. Now, when you have a guy like Brady, you can rebuild on the fly. So the Patriots had that first run from '01 to, let's say, '06. '07 was kind of an anomaly year because they went and loaded up in the free agency class with Welker and Moss and Adalius Thomas and guys like that. But then '08, the Brady injury, and then '09 and 2010, they were bounced in the first round at home by the Ravens, who blew them out, and by the Jets, which was Mark Sanchez at quarterback. And then in 2011, they made the Super Bowl with one of the worst defenses you'll ever see. 2012, they draft Dante Hightower and Chandler Jones and start to rebuild that defense. And that's when the next incarnation happened. I think last year was the death rattle. They didn't get it. And now this year, you see kind of the young guys aren't very good. The Patriots drafts have been really poor the last couple of years. And then the good players are the old guys who don't look as good anymore. And I think the Patriots are in the midst of a rebuild. The unfortunate thing is your quarterback's 41 now because you traded the young kid away to San Francisco for a second-round pick.
Boy, I really think that's going to come back to haunt them. I know it would have cost a lot to keep Garoppolo, but man, you're hoping that Brady sticks around into his mid-40s. That's not good.
And I agree with that take because I was a Jimmy Garoppolo person. The people around here who want to defend the trade will point to the injuries. I'd say one, he only missed 2 or 3 weeks, or would have only missed 2 or 3 weeks had Brady not come back. The other one is an ACL, and that happens across the league. So I think it's too early to say he's injury prone. But the one thing that's indisputable that Patriot fans will go blue in the face defending or telling me that I'm wrong about is the fact that he made one phone call. So even if you were going to move on for Garoppolo, to only get a second-round pick it's unacceptable. You don't just call one person and make that trade. They should have shopped more. If they were really going to make the deal, it's going to get into a whole side story about the Seth Wickersham report last year. But my thoughts still are he wanted to move on. He was told by Kraft he wasn't allowed to. And so he had a spite, said, well, screw you. I'll trade him for a second-round pick then. That's truly what I believe happened. And I think it's a pick that's going to really haunt them for a while. With that said, they are loaded up for the draft next year. So as provided Belichick doesn't frustrate the hell out of me and trade out a bunch again next year, they should be able to retool a little bit and start to kind of build the next wave. But, sooner rather than later, they got to address that quarterback position again.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think there was a lot going on behind the scenes in that